Hi guys, this is a quick video on a little bit of research I'm doing on Dr. Anthony Fauci. There's a really interesting discrepancy in his opinion between using hydroxychloroquine as a treatment and it being untested and him not wanting to promote it versus an untested vaccine that he wanted to promote for the H1N1 virus 10 years ago. So let me just play this first clip of what he's currently saying about the hydroxychloroquine.
A question about something that happened today, Dr. Fauci. The president said that the FDA will fast-track antiviral treatments for patients with coronavirus, saying that an anti-malarial drug would be made available, and he said that the drug would be made available almost immediately. When the public hears that, and obviously there's a lot of interest, a lot of hope in this, how much confidence should we put in that? And do we know that that drug would even work? Because, as you know, FDA Commissioner Hahn, he didn't go that far.
No. So let me put it into perspective for the viewers, and perhaps we'll understand it better. There is a drug, two drugs, they're very similar, chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine. They've been used for decades for malaria as well as for the treatment of certain autoimmune diseases like lupus. It's a very inexpensive drug. It's tried and true. It's been around for a long time. There's been anecdotal, non-proven, anecdotal data that it works. When people give it to someone, it makes them better. But when you have an uncontrolled trial, you can never definitively say that it works. In addition, there's been some in vitro data in the test tube. You put hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine in with the virus, it tends to impede the virus. It's done that with a number of other viruses. What was said today at the press conference, this is an already approved drug. So it could be available, for example, when you use it off-label, which means somebody uses it for a purpose that it wasn't officially approved for. What the president was saying is that we're going to look at all of these drugs and we're going to try to get them available in the context of some sort of a protocol where you just don't distribute drugs willy-nilly. You may make it more accessible than you would have previously, but you do it in the context to at least get some feel for both safety and whether it works. That was the message about the malaria drug.
So here he's concerned about getting some feel and feedback on the safety level of the drug before using it. But a little bit later I'm going to play you a clip where he doesn't have anywhere near that level of concern for a vaccine that he's given to pregnant women. I'll play a little bit more.
Hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine.
I mean, the reason we ask, obviously, Dr. Fauci, about this, and it's constantly this balance, I imagine, in your job and everyone's job, this balance between hope and honesty. I mean, it was described, as you know, at the press conference as a game changer. I mean, again, how should the public interpret that sort of thing?
You know, Sanjay, I'm not so sure it was, I mean, I was watching it on TV. I was, around the corner from the conference looking at it on TV. I don't think it was necessarily described as a game changer, but let's make sure people understand what it is. Today, there are no proven safe and effective therapies for the coronavirus. Okay. That doesn't mean that we're not going to do everything we can to make things that have even a hint of efficacy more readily available, so long as you do it in the context of some sort of protocol that would take a look of getting some information about safety and efficacy. But there's no magic drug out there right now.
Okay. I just want to, Mr. Anderson, just want to put it in non-doctor terms because I'm not very smart. People should not go to their doctor and say, I want chloroquine because I hear that may work. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I think if you would...
All right, I think that's about all we need to see of that. Let's have a look at this clip from 10 years ago. This is about the H1N1 vaccine that Fauci was pushing.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, is joining us this morning. Dr. Fauci, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk about these new numbers that were released. 92 to 96% of pregnant women who had this vaccine showed an adequate immune response. What does that mean, adequate immune response? How likely are they to be protected from the H1N1 virus?
Highly likely. What we do is that we did a clinical trial, which I reported on yesterday, in which you vaccinate women with a single dose or 2 doses, and you find out that a single standard dose of the H1N1 vaccine would induce an immune response that you would predict would be protective from the experience that we've had over decades with influenza vaccinations. So when we say that 92 to 96%, that means that close to more than 90%. So almost everyone. The difference between 92 and 96 isn't really that much. It means that the overwhelming majority of women who get vaccinated will mount a response that you would predict would be protective. That's very good news for the people who've already been vaccinated.
So just quickly, a 2-week trial was done with this new H1N1 vaccine, and he's saying they've got a 92 to 96% success rate, and he's happy to roll that out to pregnant women with no testing on what, or no study on what it does to the child.
Because they can know that that one shot of vaccination has put them in good stead with protection, as well as women who are wondering whether they would be protected. These are very strong data to indicate that vaccination would protect you.
Have any of these women had their babies, and has the baby been okay?
Well, first of all, we have decades of experience of vaccinating women with influenza, and
But
there's
with
no...
this particular vaccine?
Well, you're talking about weeks, so I can't tell you whether 1 or 2 women gave birth to babies, but there have been no deleterious effects on the women or on any children that might have been born. But you're talking about a relatively small number of people. You rely much more on years of experience with very similar vaccines, and there's been no...
So all of a sudden, he's happy to rely on years of experience of vaccines, a drug that was used to treat something that they have decades of proof on when it comes to a vaccine. But when it comes to hydroxychloroquine, he's not going to step up. He doesn't want to support it. You have to wonder why.